Order in the court. Silence. After more than 20 years of turning wrenches, replacing transmissions that owners swore were totally fine, and watching folks finance bad decisions just because they had leather seats, I can tell you something most dealerships hope you never hear. People are overpaying for reliable cars every single day. Everyone runs to the Honda Civic, the Toyota Corolla, or the Accord. Great cars, sure, but at this point, they are priced like they were blessed by the Pope himself. Meanwhile, 3 ridiculously reliable cars are sitting on used lots like the last slice of pizza nobody notices because the box says vegetarian. And trust me, the first one might surprise you, but the last one? The last one is the kind of car that makes mechanics grin like raccoons near an open trash can. It is that good. Here on the Auto Judge, we like cars that start every morning, do not require a second mortgage for repairs, and do not make your check engine light feel like part of the interior dashboard design. I have been a certified mechanic since 2002. I have worked on everything from farm trucks held together by hope and zip ties to luxury sedans that cry if you use regular gas. After keeping notes on all of them, I can tell you this: these 3 cheap used cars are some of the smartest buys nobody talks about. We are counting down from number 3 to number 1. And number 1 is the one I would personally buy again tomorrow without blinking. Before we dive into the evidence, do your civic duty. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like so the algorithm knows who is boss, and leave a comment below telling me about the worst mechanical nightmare you ever owned. Let's get to the verdict. Mazda 6. Let us start with number 3. And before we do, a quick favor. Send this video to that one friend who keeps saying, "I am thinking about getting a used BMW." You might actually save a life, or at least a bank account. A few months ago, a guy named Marcus came into the shop. 34 years old, software engineer, nice guy, terrible car shopping instincts. His budget was around $18,000 and he was absolutely locked in on a 2019 Honda Accord. In his mind, that was the safe choice. Reliable, popular, respectable. Basically, the khaki pants of the car world. I asked him one question. Do you want the car everyone buys or do you want the smarter buy? He looked at me like I had just asked him to explain how taxes work. Sitting on a local lot was a 2018 Mazda 6 Grand Touring with just over 50,000 miles for $14,200. Clean title, 1 owner, full maintenance history, and honestly better looking than half the so-called luxury sedans people brag about on Instagram while ignoring the fact their transmission is currently filing for divorce. He laughed. Actually laughed. He said, "Mazda? Aren't those the cars people bought in 2007 and then watched dissolve into rust like an aspirin tablet?" Fair question. Old Mazda had some rough years. Back when Ford was involved, things got weird. Some of those old Mazda 3s rusted so fast they looked like they were aging in dog years. But the 2014 and newer Mazda 6 is a totally different animal. This is post-Ford Mazda, fully Mazda engineered, and that changed everything. Under the hood sits the Skyactiv G 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, and this engine is one of the best naturally aspirated engines built in the last decade. No turbo hanging around like an expensive little time bomb. No complicated nonsense designed by an engineer who clearly hated mechanics. Just clean, efficient, smart engineering. It makes around 184 horsepower, depending on the year and trim, gets roughly 26 city and 35 highway miles per gallon, and somehow manages to feel more alive than a lot of cars with bigger numbers on paper. It is like that quiet guy at work who does not talk much but somehow benches 315 on weekends. And here is the part people miss. Starting in 2018, Mazda improved the fuel system with both port and direct injection working together. That means less carbon buildup issues than the usual direct injection only headache. That matters because carbon buildup is one of those repairs that starts with, "It is probably nothing," and ends with you Googling, "Can humans live without savings?" Transmission is Mazda's own 6-speed automatic. The Skyactiv drive is not a Jatco Grenade or something designed to emotionally damage you. It is their own transmission, smooth, reliable, and I have personally seen these go well past 200,000 miles without major drama. And the compression ratio is 13:1. At the time, that was one of the highest compression ratios in a production gasoline engine without requiring premium fuel. That is not marketing fluff, that is actual engineering. That is the kind of thing mechanics respect. That is the automotive version of someone bringing homemade barbecue to a cookout instead of store-bought potato salad. Now, let us talk money. A clean 2017 to 2020 Mazda 6 usually runs between $12,000 and $18,000 depending on mileage and trim. A comparable Honda Accord from the same years is usually $16,000 to $23,000. Toyota Camry, same story, $15,000 to $22,000. So, you are saving $4,000 to $6,000 right out of the gate. That is not coupon savings. That is, I can pay my insurance for a year and still afford tacos savings. And here is the funny part. Most people still trust the Accord more just because it says Honda on the badge. People buy logos like they are investing in rare art. Meanwhile, the Mazda 6 is over there quietly minding its business, being reliable, looking better, and costing less. The most expensive repair I have personally done on one of these was a rear brake caliper at around 98,000 miles. It cost about $285. The same job on an Accord is around $380. A Camry is around $360. Not a life-changing difference, but enough to remind you that reliability isn't just, does it break? It is also, does the repair make me question every financial decision since high school? Things to check before buying one. Look at the rear wheel wells and rocker panels, especially if the car lived in northern states where winter roads are seasoned like a steak with salt. Rust is still your enemy. Listen for ticking from the fuel injectors on cold start. It is totally normal if it fades after 30 seconds. If it sounds like a drummer practicing for a metal band and never stops, then we investigate. Also test the infotainment screen on the 2016 and 2017 models. Some had freezing issues because apparently even car screens now need emotional support. Usually a dealer firmware update fixes it for free. Who is this car for? First-time buyers, young professionals, families, anyone who wants a mid-size sedan that feels expensive without requiring luxury car therapy bills. But if you absolutely need all-wheel drive or a V6 because you think every grocery run is qualifying laps at Daytona, this may not be your car. Still, for pure value, the Mazda 6 is criminally underrated. Buick LaCrosse. If number 3 already surprised you, number 2 is the kind of car people ignore purely because of the badge. And that mistake is saving smart buyers thousands of dollars. A couple of years ago, a retired teacher named Dave walked into the shop with the confidence of a man who had already made up his mind and just wanted me to agree with him. 62 years old, good dude, and absolutely determined to buy a used BMW 3 Series because his neighbor had one. Now listen, I like BMWs. I also like fireworks. That does not mean I want one exploding in my driveway. Dave had a budget of $12,000 and had found a 2015 BMW 328i with about 90,000 miles. It looked clean, drove nice, had leather seats and a fancy badge. The kind of car that makes you feel successful right up until the first repair bill arrives wearing brass knuckles. I pulled him aside and said, "Dave, I like you too much to let you do this to yourself." Instead, I showed him a 2014 Buick LaCrosse with 78,000 miles listed for $9,800. He looked offended, like I had just offered him meatloaf at a 5-star steakhouse. "Buick," he said. "Isn't that what my grandfather drove to church?" Exactly. And that is why it is a steal. See, the Buick name has a branding problem. People under 50 hear the name and think of beige paint, orthopedic seat cushions, and someone yelling at a waiter because the soup is too spicy. But branding and engineering are two very different things. And the 2010 to 2016 LaCrosse with a 3.6-liter LFX V6 is way better than people realize. Under the hood, you get General Motors' 3.6-liter V6 making around 304 horsepower. It is smooth, quiet, and strong enough that merging onto the highway does not feel like asking for permission. It uses direct injection, variable valve timing, and a timing chain setup rated well beyond 200,000 miles, as long as the owner was not treating oil changes like optional gym memberships. Fuel economy sits around 18 city and 28 highway miles per gallon. And here is the insider detail most buyers never know. The LaCrosse shares its Epsilon 2 platform with the Cadillac XTS and even the Saab 9.5. That means you are getting Cadillac bones at used Hyundai prices. That is like buying store-brand cereal and finding out it was made in the same factory as the expensive stuff. Same crunch, less financial regret. The transmission is the 6-speed 6T70 automatic. Now, if serviced every 60,000 miles, this thing is solid. Ignore the fluid forever like some people ignore their dentist, and yes, it can get ugly. But maintained properly, it is a tank. 2 years after Dave bought that LaCrosse, he came back in for regular service. He was at 121,000 miles. His total maintenance cost since buying it? $214. Oil changes, 1 battery, and 1 set of brake pads. That is it. Meanwhile, his neighbor with the BMW was on a first-name basis with his service advisor and was probably helping fund the man's new lake house. Now, let us compare prices. A clean 2013 to 2016 Buick LaCrosse usually runs between $7,000 and $12,000. A comparable Cadillac XTS? $14,000 to $20,000. A BMW 3 Series from those same years? Usually $12,000 to $18,000. And let me tell you something beautiful. The BMW may be more fun to drive, but that fun disappears real fast when your cooling system invoice looks like college tuition. The most expensive repair I have personally done on a LaCrosse was a water pump at around 140,000 miles. It cost about $420. The same job on that BMW? Around $1,100. Yes, $1,100. At that price, the water pump better come with front row concert tickets and emotional support. Things to check before buying one. First, listen for timing chain stretch. A cold start rattle is your warning sign. If it sounds like someone shaking a metal toolbox under the hood, budget around $800. Second, check the front wheel bearings. A humming noise at highway speeds usually means one is on its way out. That is about $350 per side. And this one matters. Check the transmission fluid. If it is dark, smells burnt, or looks like it has been through a civil war, walk away. Do not negotiate. Do not think about it. Leave like your ex just walked into the restaurant. Because transmission neglect on these can turn a good deal into a documentary about bad life decisions. Who is this car for? People who want a quiet, comfortable highway cruiser. Commuters, retirees, and budget-conscious buyers who want near-luxury comfort without luxury repair bills. This is the car for someone who wants heated seats, a smooth ride, and enough cabin quiet to hear themselves regret texting their ex at 2 in the morning. But if you need something compact for tight city parking or something sporty enough to impress a 23-year-old valet, this probably isn't your move. Still, for comfort, reliability, and value, the LaCrosse is one of the most overlooked used cars in America. Toyota Avalon. Last spring, a 28-year-old nurse named Sarah came into the shop looking for a daily driver. She was smart, practical, and already stressed enough from 12-hour shifts and people asking if WebMD counts as a medical degree. Her budget was $8,000. And she had her heart set on a 2016 Nissan Sentra with about 95,000 miles. Now, I am going to be nice here because this is the auto judge, and I believe in honesty with just the right amount of emotional damage. I told her, Sarah, buying that Sentra would be like proposing on the first date because the appetizers went well. Technically possible, but spiritually reckless. She laughed, but I did not, because sitting 2 rows over on the same lot was a 2008 Toyota Avalon with 130,000 miles for $6,200. The second I saw it, I knew that was the better car. She looked at me like I had just recommended she start a career in competitive mime. Isn't that an old person car? She asked. Yes, Sarah. And old people love 2 things, low blood pressure and reliable transportation. There is a reason for that. The Avalon is one of the most criminally overlooked used cars in America because people under 45 think it looks like something their grandparents drove to brunch after church. And honestly, fair. But let me tell you something. Boring-looking, reliable cars are where the smart money lives. Because under that very respectable, Homeowner Association-approved exterior sits Toyota's legendary 3.5-liter 2G RFE V6. And if you know engines, that name should make you smile. This is the same basic power plant used in the Lexus ES 350, the Toyota Camry V6, the Toyota Highlander, and about 12 other vehicles that refuse to die out of pure spite. It makes around 268 horsepower depending on the year, pulls smoothly, and sounds better than it has any right to. Paired with Toyota's 6-speed automatic, it is one of the most dependable combinations ever built. Fuel economy is around 19 city and 28 highway miles per gallon. Not Prius numbers, but also not, I need to refinance my house because gas hit $4 territory. And here is the beautiful part. It has a timing chain, not a timing belt. That means no expensive belt service hanging over your head like unpaid student loans. The chain is designed for the life of the engine if basic maintenance is done. I have personally seen 3 Avalons go past 350,000 miles with nothing more dramatic than oil changes, brakes, and the occasional owner pretending that tire rotations are a government conspiracy. The valve springs, the oil pump, the water pump, Toyota overbuilt these things like they were preparing for the apocalypse. This is the kind of car that survives teenagers learning to drive, road trips with screaming children, and people who think a maintenance schedule is just a polite suggestion. Now, let us talk money. A clean 2008 to 2012 Avalon usually runs between $5,000 and $9,000 depending on condition and mileage. A comparable Lexus ES 350, which is basically the same car wearing nicer shoes, usually goes for $10,000 to $15,000. That is a $5,000 to $7,000 difference for a badge. Not a better engine. Not a magical transmission blessed by monks. A badge. That is like paying extra for bottled water because the label uses a fancier font. And yes, the Lexus interior is a little fancier, but once your kids drop French fries in the back seat, we are all equal. The most expensive repair I have ever done on an Avalon was an alternator replacement for about $340. The same job on the Lexus? Closer to $680. Apparently, luxury also means your alternator needs a college degree before installation. Things to check before buying one. First, the front struts. If the nose dips hard under braking, like the car is bowing politely to a king, budget around $400 for replacements. Second, the valve cover gaskets. Look for oil seepage. It is usually a $150 fix, but it tells you a lot about whether the previous owner treated maintenance like an adult or like a New Year's resolution. Third, test the power steering pump at full lock. If it whines louder than a toddler in a toy store, it may be on its way out. That is around $280. Still not scary numbers. Not German luxury surprise numbers. More like annoying but survivable numbers. Who is this car for? Commuters, families, and people who want Lexus-level comfort without having to explain to their spouse why the repair bill costs more than the vacation you just canceled. This is for buyers who care more about long-term peace than short-term parking lot compliments. If your main goal is impressing coworkers who think leasing a base-model luxury car is a personality trait, you will probably skip this. But if your goal is owning a car that quietly starts every morning for the next 10 years while your friends are arguing with service departments, this is your car. The Toyota Avalon. Lexus quality for half the price. The Buick LaCrosse. Cadillac comfort without the financial jump scare. And the Mazda 6. The best-kept secret in the mid-size sedan world. These are three cars the market forgot, but mechanics never did. And if I had to buy one car today to drive for the next 10 years with the lowest total cost of ownership, I would still grab another Mazda 6 without blinking. Because after 23 years of watching cars roll into shops, I have learned something simple. The smartest car in the parking lot usually is not the flashiest one. It is the one quietly leaving with its owner's wallet still intact. And that, my friends, is the kind of luxury I actually respect. Before you go and trade your life savings for a badge that only impresses your mechanic, do your part for the court. Make sure to subscribe to the Auto Judge so you never miss a verdict. Hit that like button to keep this channel running, and drop a comment below telling me which of these three you would trust with your own money. Case closed.